What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, where for today's video, boy have I got one stack news round for you guys, including what easily has to be the biggest drop of this year so far. But first of all, I want to jump into some third-party reveals, and the first one comes to us by magnificent Mecha. Now, this company recently dropped the amazing Bumblebee movie Optimus Prime, which pretty much took that 3.0 DLX robot mode and made it so that it could transform into a full-blown truck. It absolutely annihilated the competition, easily made itself the best version of B-movie Optimus Prime, so it is wicked to see them almost continue that trend on, this time with Optimus Prime based on the original Michael Bay trilogy. So they're going to be bringing out two different versions, one of which is based on Transformers Dark of the Moon. This will come packing with the sick abdominal section, and then the second version is based on the original two live-action movies. And when it does come down to his robot mode, much like that Bumblebee movie Optimus Prime, a near-perfect recreation to the actual CG design, and this may just be the Bayverse Optimus Prime to end all Bayverse Optimus Primes, because judging by this prototype, this does appear to absolutely wipe the floor, not only with the MPM 4 Optimus Prime, but also the Black Apple Optimus Prime, which for the best part of 5 years has always been regarded as being the best transforming version of that character so far seen. But the proportions when it comes down to this guy, especially as we check out the chest unit, I think look near flawless. Even as we spin this baby around to the back, literally perfection to the actual CG design. And would you guys believe me if I said that this is indeed a fully transforming version of that iconic design? This will be able to transform into the full-blown Peterbilt semi-truck as seen in all three of those Michael Bay movies, and it looks sick. It's going to be wicked to finally see this painted up to the max, including those classic Michael Bay flames. Right now, this has easily become one of my most anticipated third-party products, and if their Bumblebee movie Optimus Prime was anything to go by, it's going to be top-tier quality. So definitely cannot wait to check out what easily has to be the MVP to end all Optimus Primes based on that original trilogy. Shooting our way into some Takara Tomy official reveals, we finally got some proper images of their upcoming Bingo Sports collab, this being Optimus Prime based on both Transformers Age of Extinction and Transformers The Last Knight. Now, this easily has to be one of the most wackiest crossovers that we've ever seen Takara Tomy bring out, because they've pretty much taken that Knight design of Optimus Prime and have had it transform into a full-blown Corvette Stingray, as this will borrow the engineering from the Studio Series crosshairs. To be fair, I actually think the details are looking sick, especially as we check out Prime's chest unit. That is looking wicked. Unfortunately, it doesn't appear as if though he's going to include any of the weapons that we saw in both Transformers 4 and 5. Instead, you are going to be able to totally rip off that back spoiler and transform that into a full-blown Buster Cannon. And as we check out the vehicle mode, it is sweet to see the return of those iconic Michael Bay flames. As you guys can see, this Corvette has been painted up to the max and is packing all of the official sponsors. Considering that this guy to begin with was already an official licensed vehicle, the details are looking sharp, so I definitely can't wait to check this one out. I think out of all of the most recent kind of crossovers that Takara Tomy have been pumping out, this has to be by far the one that stands out to myself the most, and it may give us a pretty good indication of the details that we can expect to see from the upcoming Leader Class Studio Series Optimus Prime, who I do believe is also set to be based on Transformers Age of Extinction. The next Takara Tomy product that I want to check out, I believe, is one that has already been revealed. This is the 40th Anniversary Movie Masterpiece 3 Bumblebee. So they've pretty much taken that mold and have repainted it up to the max. Now, as I believe I've mentioned previously, this really is the figure that we should have seen to begin with, because it is a movie masterpiece. We already should have had the best of the best, but there is no denying that Takara Tomy have absolutely packed a punch when it does come down to paint apps. This Bumblebee has never looked better. It's going to be interesting to see what they do, maybe with the likes of the 2007 movie Megatron, because for the most part that figure was complete grey plastic. Then, to round things off for the Takara Tomy reveals which have stood out to me the most, we have to check out the T-Spark upcoming Rodimus Prime, which is pretty much going to be a full-blown transforming version of that amazing Flame Toys figure. I think this easily has to be one of the best Takara Tomy products that they've ever brought out. This guy looks amazing. I do believe that they are also going to be bringing out a full-blown Predaking combiner. I can only imagine how much that bad boy is going to cost, considering that this figure here is set to retail for roughly $200, I believe, and considering what you get, honestly guys, I don't think the price point is actually that bad. I was expecting it to be way more expensive, considering that the Flame Toys non-transforming figures already cost an arm and a leg, so Takara Tomy is already completely undercutting them with the price point, and you do get two separate alternate modes. This is awesome, alongside the magnificent Mecha Optimus Prime. Again, one of the most anticipated, almost masterpiece quality releases that I think we can expect going into next year. Propelling our way into the season that is San Diego Comic-Con, Hasbro again is mostly packing a punch with the Transformers Legacy United Fractured Friendship 2-pack. Now honestly, after the release of this bad boy, I'm gonna have a fractured relationship with Hasbro, as this is half really good and then half pretty bad. So let's talk about the better out of the two, that being the Voyager class Optimus Prime / Orion packs. Now this I believe is IDW inspired, and this is Optimus Prime based on his cop days. So this figure is going to be an extensive retool of the Studio Series War for Cybertron Optimus Prime, although they have souped this guy up to the max, to the point where originally I actually thought this was a completely different figure. Even down to the vehicle form, honestly this does appear to be a completely different release, so hats off to them. I think they've done a banging job. Even as we spin this baby around to the back, they have fixed easily what has to be the biggest issue when it came around to that Gamer Edition Optimus Prime, that being that they have finally made it so that the back of the truck is completely covered by some additional panels, so definitely the superior mold between the two. And I also thought that it was kind of cool how they've almost nicked an idea from DNA Design, in the sense that they have packed in an additional component to transform that War for Cybertron Optimus Prime blaster into a full-blown handheld weapon. Not to mention that this Optimus Prime will also be packing 2 additional inbuilt dual blasters, as well as of course the iconic Matrix of Leadership. Although the figure which honestly I'm a little hesitant to even review would have to be Megatron. So this once again I believe is either the 9th or perhaps 10th retool of that Transformers Siege Megatron. That mold has been absolutely milked to death, to the point where I'm hoping that this is the final time that we ever see it. This appears to be pretty much exactly the same when it comes down to molding, in comparison to the IDW Megatron that we did see released last year. I believe that was the minor Megatron, and this will also include most of his accessories, with the addition of a brand new hammer weapon, as well as a pretty sick sword, which I do believe this guy used in the comics to single-handedly annihilate Psyche-Heal. But I guess if I had to say something nice about this Megatron, it would be that the brand new color deco absolutely slaps. They've made Megatron's face appear way more demonic, and I think it is sick how he appears to be packing an almost Autobot kill count slathered across his chest unit as well as his kneecaps. So Optimus Prime again being the MVP of this 2-pack, and Megatron unfortunately for the most part being an absolute L. The next 2-pack which I want to check out, I believe, is the 3rd and final entry into the Mayhem Attack Squad. So far we've seen some pretty cool Insecticons, we even had a Transformers Prime breakdown, although this one appears to be by far the best out of the bunch. So we have Bludgeon and Ruckus, and these do appear to again be extensive retools of pre-existing figures. God forbid Hasbro create anything brand new for one of these 2-packs, but to be fair, I think they mostly look banging, especially that Bludgeon. It's turned out way better than I was expecting, especially as very recently we already had a Bludgeon as part of the Legacy lineup, but I do think this is definitely the better out of the bunch. When it comes down to that head sculpt, it is sick to see all of that internal circuitry kind of crammed into this guy's mouthpiece. That is looking awesome. They've also completely retooled the chest unit, as well as I believe the mid part of the skirt, and I do imagine that he will also come packing with the sword. So at the moment this is looking really promising, but Ruckus is such an extensive retool to the point where, to begin with, I never even knew what figure this came from, and to my surprise it is from the Legacy Evolution Beachcomber, and the only way that I was able to tell that was from the bull bar, which can be turned into a full-blown blaster. Besides that, this is a near complete brand new figure. I'm also a big fan of how they have completely retooled the leg design to make this guy way bigger in comparison to that mini bot. It's going to be sweet to see how his vehicle mode turns out in comparison, and alongside both Windsweeper and Crankcase, this guy will finally complete the Triggercon. So it's kind of cool to see that tiny micro collection rounded off so soon, and it does appear to be easily the best out of all 3. Lighting our way into the final figure that I want to check out for today's video, we have the highly anticipated Transformers Studio Series 86 Commander Class G1 Optimus Prime. Now this leak is honestly bonkers, because our first look at this guy is Optimus Prime totally smacking that piano, and I would imagine blasting out He's Got the Touch, because this does appear to be easily the best mainline Optimus Prime ever to be made. And to be fair, we all knew this was coming, and they have absolutely pulled out all of the stops for this Optimus Prime, as it seems like they've pretty much taken the MP44 and have just shrunken it down to the mainline scale. I kind of view the Earthrise Optimus Prime now as the MP10 of the mainline, and this guy as the MP44, because despite both of them being really awesome, there is no denying that this one is going to be way more complex from an engineering standpoint, especially as you begin to check out the backpack. Now to be fair, we only have one image of this guy so far, and it doesn't really show off the robot mode in its entirety, so I don't want to judge the largeness of that backpack just yet, but to be fair guys, I think it compresses for the most part really well. well, but you can already tell how complex this design is going to be. This guy appears to be packing individual finger articulation, he's loaded with joints including the hip skirt that appears to be hinged in every way, shape or form, and the head sculpt is absolutely smack on. Easily, this has to be the hottest item revealed so far for this year, and I really just cannot wait to see more. I am excited to see some of the accessories that he's going to include, so pardon the pun, but roll out to the reveal of this guy because I am absolutely pumped. And that pretty much wraps up everything that I wanted to discuss for today's news round. Don't you guys worry, this next week is going to be absolutely stacked when it comes down to reviews. I have some absolute bangers planned, so make sure you guys are subscribed, smack that bell notification. I would love to get your guys' thoughts on everything mentioned and spoken about in today's video. What are you guys most excited for? I'm pretty certain that I do have a good idea, especially with a certain Prime on the horizon, but to be fair, some of the other reveals that we discussed are also packing a punch. I want to thank you guys all so much for watching, and until my next video, transform and roll out!